On this week's show, we've got the latest gaming news and previews, plus we wrap up our 2020 Rocket League tournament. Welcome to a brand new episode of State Champs Esports. I'm your host, Candace. We've got an exciting show lined up for you, and we have to thank our friends over at Lawrence Tech and Hungry Howie's Pizza for making it all possible. Before we dive into our Rocket League highlights, we've got a quick roundup of recent gaming news. It was revealed that Super Nintendo World will be opening at Universal Studios Japan in February of 2021. The attraction will feature a life-size Mario Kart ride, Mario Cafe and Store, and a Yoshi Adventure ride. It was originally scheduled to open earlier this year, but was postponed due to COVID-19. Sadly, we won't be getting a Super Nintendo World here in the States until 2023. The nominations for the 2020 Game Awards are out, and The Last of Us Part 2 scored 10 nominations, including Game of the Year. Also up for the top prize is Animal Crossing New Horizons, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, and Hades. Find out who wins when the awards show is live streamed on December 10th. And finally, Lawrence Tech has announced Danielle Sarikis as their new esports head coach. We'll have an interview with her next week, but until then, remember to visit ltuathletics.com to recruit yourself for LTU's varsity esports team in 2021. Our 2020 Rocket League playoffs kicked off into high gear last week with the semifinals competition. Let's break down all the action. Up first is our reigning champs Dakota High School taking on Divine Child. Both teams finished tied for second in the regular season and easily made their way here to the semifinals. These evenly matched teams traded close, low-scoring wins in the first two games. Then in Game 3, Divine Child scored 4 unanswered goals to come from behind and take the series lead 2-1. In the next game, Divine Child carried that momentum to an easy 2-0 victory and clinched the best of 5 competition. And our second semifinal showdown was between regular season champs Detroit Catholic Central and Rockford High School. In the first game, Catholic Central cruised to an easy 3-0 victory, and it seemed like they were headed for another shutout as all 3 team members for CC got early goals in Game 2. However, Great from Rockford would not go down without a fight and managed to score twice late in the game, but unfortunately time ran out before he could tie up the score. The third game was a back-and-forth battle early on and stayed deadlocked until the final minute when Catholic Central's Mewtwo scored back-to-back goals. And with the semifinal sweep, Detroit Catholic Central advances to face Divine Child in the finals. We'll have the highlights from our finals later in the show. Right now, we're going to take a look at several new games coming out this week. Up first is Kronos Before the Ashes. This atmospheric role-playing game chronicles a hero's lifelong quest to save their homeland from great evil.
Upon your hero's reawakening, you will notice something has changed. Every time you die, your hero grows older. And we all know that aging has its consequences. Failure will be part of your hero's story, and it's up to you to retrace your steps, face your enemies again, and see where you went wrong.
Empire of Sin is a strategy game that puts you at the heart of the ruthless criminal underworld of 1920s Prohibition-era Chicago.
What he doesn't know is I've been making deals all around town, and I got just enough cops to look the other way. Those who work with me are afraid of nothing. I almost feel bad for the guy. He's just a step on my way to the top. But if it wasn't me taking him down, it'd be somebody else. Think you got what it takes?
Up next is Ubisoft's Immortals Phoenix Rising, where you play as a winged demigod on a quest to save the Greek gods and their home from a dark curse. So, A Wild West Tale is an exciting spaghetti western stealth game in which you guide a 6-year-old boy on his quest to find his mother. Finally, we have The Twisted and the Twilight. This is the latest expansion pack for Total War Warhammer 2, which introduces 2 rival legendary lords. And now, the moment we've all been waiting months for. We finally find out who has been crowned our 2020 Rocket League champions between the last team standing, Detroit Catholic Central and Divine Child. In the first game, Catholic Central took an early 2-goal lead, but Carl from Divine Child would thread the needle between 2 defenders to pull his team within 1. Catholic Central's Meditents immediately fired back to widen the lead 3-1, which is where the score would stay for the rest of the game. In Game 2, Catholic Central took another early lead, but both teams' defenses kicked in as neither were able to score for over 3 minutes. Finally, Mewtwo from Catholic Central got his own rebound here to widen their lead. Divine Child tried to stay in it with this goal from Carl, but it was too little too late. In Game 3, Catholic Central's Mewtwo scored 2 quick goals, putting Divine Child in a hole they could not get out of. Halfway through the game, Mewtwo completed his hat trick, while Carl kept Divine Child from getting shut out with this long-range goal that made the final score 3-1. It was do or die for Divine Child in Game 4, and they would not go down without a fight. The game remained scoreless for nearly 3 minutes, and when Detroit Catholic Central finally got on the board, Divine Child came right back to tie it up. CC's Meditents ended the series by getting 3 goals in rapid succession to complete his team sweep. Congrats to Detroit Catholic Central for going undefeated with a 4-0 finals victory.
So Joel Graves here, back with another interview, and this time we're talking Rocket League. I'm here with the coach of our 2020 Fall Rocket League champion, Stephen J. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Good. Those games were, this has definitely been a very interesting season. It's good to see you guys compete, and then for such an amazing performance in finals. Wanted to first, before we talk a little bit about Rocket League, talk about the background of esports at CC's.
So actually, it was kind of funny. I came back to the school to say hi to a couple teachers. I'm a recent grad of CC, and I'd been doing some stuff with esports, and I found out that they were interested in starting an esports program at the school. So I was kind of called in to kind of give some advice, and I guess it turned into a little bit more of advice. We ended up starting a full-fledged esports program, so it kind of just started with the idea of, hey, we want to play Rocket League and League of Legends against other schools, and then once we finally got the equipment in and stuff, there was a lot of interest in it. So I think this season we have 45 kids playing. So we play in your guys' tournament. We also play in another league called MySef. So it's been growing pretty steadily, to be honest. So we actually came up with the idea, I think January of last year. By the time we got everything in terms of equipment ready and stuff, it was actually the weekend before the government had started the shutdown. So we actually had all this equipment sitting in our library that we couldn't use. So what I decided to do was make us a Discord server for us to be able to play online. So we actually started competing in April. Would have been our first time competing. So this is our first season that we were kind of back in the building, obviously, until a couple weeks ago.
How has COVID really affected your ability to, mentor and talk to the students and communicate?
Actually, we were in school up until the this last lockdown. So we were in school with masks and socially distancing in our library. And I got to meet a lot of the players, especially for this fall season. So I got to meet everyone kind of face to face, and we were playing for about 5 weeks. So then going online was a little bit easier because I knew most of the kids. But we have a Discord server, so it's pretty easy to set up practice times or to set up scrimmages against other schools. Obviously, I wish I could kind of be more face to face and more involved. It's kind of tough, I guess, coaching or giving tips over a mic. But other than that, we've been making the best with what we can.
So have you had the chance to talk to your players after they've won the Rocket League tournament? How were they excited, or have you not had the chance to talk to them yet?
Yeah, I was watching the whole game in spectator mode, and I was sitting in the call with my mic muted and kind of listening. And they're excited. They're excited for that, and they're excited for some of our playoffs coming along in the future. So this was a great I guess, to get the ball rolling in the right direction. So we feel good going into our state playoffs.
Well, yeah, it sounds great. You guys really did, like I said, a great performance all throughout the season. I think you guys were our top seed from the normal season, and then you guys won, which was a nice sweep in the final. So it was really good to see our teams making it all the way through our tournament. And I think that wraps it up for our interview today. Thanks again for coming out.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much. You guys have a great day.
Once again, congratulations to both Detroit Catholic Central and Divine Child for making it all the way to the finals. Both teams will be receiving scholarships to Lawrence Technological University. We'd also like to thank all the other teams for participating in our tournament and hope to see them participate in our winter Overwatch tournament that starts in January. You can sign up now at our website, statechampsesports.net. And to wrap up the show, we want to give a huge shout out to Lawrence Tech and Hungry Howies for their continued support for both this show and all of our tournaments. Make sure to join us next week as we begin our countdown to Overwatch. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.